I'm the nostalgia critic guy, remember? What the hell did I just watch? Back in 2011, when director Zack Snyder could do no wrong, or can he still? I don't know, I can't keep up with you guys anymore. He released his passion project, with maybe a little too much passion, according to some people, called Sucker Punch. With his previous successes, 300 and Watchmen, Snyder was given mostly free rein to do whatever he wanted, resulting in an $82 million budget. It had bombshells and bombshells and bombshells, as it didn't do very well financially or with critics. However, there's a fair amount of people that insist that Sucker Punch is misunderstood. Much like its quiet main character, there was more depth going on than met the eye. Even if there was quite a bit to meet the eye. According to Snyder and his fans, the film was a commentary on sexism and geek culture. I'll admit, I'm always interested in art that's misunderstood or could have other meanings, so I was pretty curious to check this out. My thoughts? There's a lot to unpack. Let's take a look at Sucker Punch.
Everyone has an angel, a guardian who watches over us.
In my case, as 20th century lawyers have said, we don't care if you steal from Moulin Rouge. It's not like you're gonna get nominated for Best Picture.
It's every one of us who holds the power over the worlds we create.
Jesus, even when she's not in it, Warner Brothers makes every film about Harley Quinn. This is Baby Doll, played by Emily Browning, who discovers she's trapped in a music video for the Watchmen trailer. Yeah, it's a Snyder film, so of course there's a lot of painful slow-mo and painful songs and people in pain. It's comically overdramatic, but that's a little bit of the fun of Snyder movies. I swear his version of a Hitchcock cameo is Rainy Funerals. If umbrellas and tombstones aren't in a scene together, he won't do the flick. Looks like Baby Doll's mother dies, and her stepfather is pissed as all the inheritance goes to her and her sister. While trying to stop a drunken rampage, Baby Doll accidentally shoots her sister, and she's sent to a mental institution. Not gonna lie, I really dig this intro. It's a cool way to give us backstory in a short amount of time, only with visuals and a pretty cool cover of Sweet Dreams. Yes, it's over-stylized, but shots like this, so laughably extreme a button looks like a hubcap, reminds me why I still remember Snyder's work, even if the film isn't always that great.
We can deny our angels exist, but they show up anyway. They can speak through any character we can imagine.
Except as Superman and Batman. I know you think they speak to you, Snyder, but you really need a translator for that. Ah yes, the Lennox House for the mentally insane and People Magazine's most gorgeous. Jenna Malone, Oscar Isaac, Vanessa Hudgens, John Hamm. Fucking Silk Spectre's a doctor here, man! This is 12 Monkeys if every inmate was Brad Pitt.
I say the Whedon cut's gonna suck more! I say the Snyder cut's gonna suck more!
With your feet in the air and your head on the ground.
Okay, I suppose now's as good a time as any to talk about the soundtrack. Snyder said he wanted the music in this to be as essential as it was in Moulin Rouge, perhaps explaining the similarities in the opening.
Where is my mind? Where is my mind?
So, okay, here's the thing. Just because you're using great songs doesn't mean you're using them in a great way. Don't get me wrong, this is a kick-ass soundtrack. I might even buy it after reviewing this. Also keep in mind, they use them better than something like Chipmunks or Smurfs, where they just pick whatever popular tripe fluff they can get the copyright to. But to give you an example, Snyder had an issue that the narration was added to the opening and closing of the film, feeling like the studio was trying to tell you how to feel. The songs have a similar problem. The lyrics match the situations and mood, but they don't tell us any further about the character. In fact, very little is learned about her. She just kinda stares off and says nothing, which is fine if something else would fill in the gaps, but we'll get to that in a bit. But okay, if this isn't an example of using songs cleverly, what is? Now let's go to another movie relying heavily on music and a main character named Baby Driver. The lyrics don't always explain what's going on, but the music is tied directly to his character, to a point where it makes its way into what he sees everywhere. You get it, this is his escape, a place where he can be whatever he wants. Still in reality, but in altered reality, where joy and rhythm allow him to take control.
Can I take your order?
Yeah.
It's bursting with so much personality you can't possibly separate them. Want proof? Try it. Let's remove Sweet Dreams with any dramatic music I have. It still works. Sweet Dreams is a little better, but it's not essential. You still get the same idea. Now let's switch Baby Driver with a different upbeat song.
Can I take your order?
The graffiti is now just graffiti. Him ordering a drink is now just ordering a drink. This is how you use songs like a musical without it being a musical. This feels more like a CW soundtrack. Not mindless, but not that intertwined either. A part of me kind of wonders why Snyder didn't just turn this into a musical. All the pieces are there. It's trying so hard to sing what it feels, why not be Repo the Genetic Opera with a $300 budget? But like a lot of art, music is subjective. Maybe you are transported when these songs pop up. Our main character is. You see, her father pays a crooked doctor, played by Isaac, to give her a lobotomy. This transitions us to a fantasy world Baby Doll has imagined where she's a dancer at a brothel. Great, I have no idea what her personality's like in one reality. I'll gladly follow her boring ass into another one.
Can you show this little baby doll around? Give her a little tour of the establishment, please?
As you'd imagine, all the inmates and doctors are characters in this fantasy. And if you think that'll give us more insight into her and the other characters, with the exception of the doctor who's a dance teacher helping them find their inner strength, there's practically no variations. The women rebel because they want to escape, and the men control them because they want to bang them. Well, those are motivations, but they're not really character traits. They have no identity line, something one character would say that another character wouldn't. Take something simple, like, I don't know, Aladdin.
That fez and vest combo is much too 3rd century. These patches, what are we trying to say? Beggar? No.
That line would only come from the genie.
I'm a street rat, remember? I'll improvise.
That line would only come from Aladdin. Even if you erased their names from the script, you would know who said it.
We all have our stories and our minds complicated.
Yeah, any of them could have said that.
Do you remember when you first got here? Nobody felt sorry for you.
Any of them could have said that.
I want to hear your plan, okay? None of us do.
There's no difference between them! They're all just spunky and angry. Spangry.
I can't. Yes, you can. Come on, be reasonable.
Oh wait, this one's actually timid and afraid. Well, so much for her. Back to the Spangry ladies.
You don't think you're strong enough? You are. You're afraid. Don't be.
Will you be our bland swan?
You have all the weapons you need.
Okay, as much as I'm hating on this film, this is the part where it introduces a pretty cool idea. The teacher says use the movement of her body as her weapon. So she has another fantasy. In her head, her dancing is being interpreted as fighting off monsters. That's actually rather intriguing. We've seen this done for laughs, like in Rick and Morty, where they keep going into the dream of a dream of a dream. And we've also seen it done dramatically in I'm Thinking of Ending Things, where a character having a midlife crisis is actually a figment of the spouse's mind wishing that person existed. It's similar to when folklores create folklores, like in Revenge of the Sith. It's an extra layer of development that makes what you're watching feel more believable. Okay, I'm fascinated. What are you gonna do with it? Well, she comes across another mentor type, played by Scott Glenn, who tells her about the evils she has to defeat.
You're tracking snow everywhere.
Should I take them off?
That time has passed. What are you looking for?
A way out, I guess.
You guess?
And I guess Terrence Stamp is the definitive stick. Own something, will ya?
You will need 5 items for this journey.
So he gives her some weapons, tells her other weapons she'll need to escape, and she fights off monsters. Hi, it's your mentor? You know I'm still in here, right? Oh god, they needed this for Kung Fu Panda 4! So the fight is supposed to symbolize the dance, which we never see, but clearly astonishes everyone. Cool. I still don't know shit about her.
Now you just hold on there, mister.
Hey Zach, honestly I'm shocked it took you so long to appear in this.
Well, that's because you're not watching the Snyder cut of this review. Whew, felt naked there for a minute. Which is also a trademark of my films.
Alright, you're here, so clearly you want to explain what you had in mind.
Well, that's exactly it. It is in her mind.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm a big show don't tell kind of guy.
Yes, you've made that quite clear.
So everything around her is character development. That monster, she created that. Those outfits, she created that. And I'm not sure if you caught on, but the actors playing the characters in the fantasies are also representing the characters in real life.
Yeah, we all got that, but what are we learning about her?
Well, the fights represent her dancing, and escaping the brothel represents her escaping the institution.
Yeah, that's stuff she's doing, but what is she feeling?
What is this feeling thing you speak of?
Okay, I'm sorry to bring up so many examples, but in something like Where the Wild Things Are, it's kept vague what exactly means what, but we know what the main character is like. He's sensitive, but wild, acts tough, but uses that as a means to hide his inner troubles. One character could represent his father, his mother, and his insecurities all in one because we're given clues to his background. Without limiting it to one thing only connects to one other thing. It's actually a deeper dive seeing how his imagination copes with problems than just telling us what his problems are. We obviously know who these people represent, but it doesn't teach us anything about her. If anything, it might be more interesting if this actually took place in a brothel and the mental institution was the fantasy. That simple switch might have added a lot more depth, but as is, I don't see what I'm supposed to discover.
Well, keep in mind, this is only one of the fantasies, baby.
Oh, do the others go more in depth?
10 times more in depth.
Okay, I guess I'll wait it out.
Hey, want to see something funny? Grab a random object.
I got an apple here.
Perfect. Show it on screen.
I don't get what that's gonna. Ah!
See? Everything in a Snyder film always looks like a circumcised penis.
Wonderful, thanks.
Aw, but everyone always says the Snyder Cut's the perfect
length.
way.
I think this bit's gone on long enough.
Now that I don't hear often.
As mentioned, Baby Doll talks about escaping the brothel, and the other dancers say they want in. She writes down the items her mentor gave her in her fantasy, and they decide while Baby Doll distracts whoever has the item with a dance, the other woman would steal it. Once again, the dance is replaced with another action-packed fantasy. Really skimping on that Notre Dame renovation, huh? Once again, the mentor gives her a mission, some dickballism makes an appearance, and she just fights. Okay, look, I actually dig the idea of never showing her dance and that in a strange way her moves are being used as a weapon, but that should be a 2-minute sequence at the most. The first fight was over 8 minutes with no character in sight, and this one is over 12 minutes with no character in sight. Yeah, it's literally nothing. It's only people fighting. It's like if half of Pan's Labyrinth was just her looking at that frog. Ooh, she may have imagined that, but who fucking cares? Do something with it! What's even at stake in this 12 minutes? If something goes wrong, she slips while dancing? Who gives a shit? I'm just watching people I know nothing about fight obstacles that add up to nothing. Somehow you made beautiful women kicking ass boring. How did you do that?
Now, critic. You're missing that the symbolism is also symbolic.
You know, saying something symbolic doesn't automatically make it brilliant, right?
But I'm exposing the sexist male gaze you often see among nerdy fanboys.
Yeah, you brought that up before, and I have to be honest, I'm not seeing it.
Well, it's like I said in interviews. It's a commentary on sexism and geek culture. Someone would ask me, why did you film the girls this way? And I'd say, well, you did. Sucker Punch is a fuck you to a lot of people who will watch it.
Well, I can't disagree on that part.
On the other hand, though, it is fetishistic and personal.
Wait, was that also part of an interview?
Oh yes, I said this openly. I like to think that my fetishes aren't that obscure. Who doesn't want to see girls running down the trenches of World War I wreaking havoc?
You don't see the contrast in those two sentences?
Of course I do! That's what makes me so deep!
As much as this movie has been called sexist and demeaning, the ironic thing is, I kind of believe him. Everyone says the deep message is a bullshit excuse to see women run around in skimpy outfits kicking ass under the guise of empowerment. The argument being, if he wanted to show women as three-dimensional people and not just sex objects, he would have shown them as three-dimensional people and not just sex objects. But here's the thing, he seems pretty equal opportunist when it comes to sexualizing men and women with bland personalities. Truth be told, the most interesting or complex characters in his films oftentimes are women. So I guess I believe him when he says he wanted to do this commentary, but like a lot of his other commentaries, he just sucks at it. And it's a shame because, like Lucas, I can tell he's a man of ideas, he's just not always that great at communicating them. That might be why similar ideas and visuals worked in Wonder Woman, a film he produced but let someone else direct. Just because a character's sexy doesn't mean he or she can't be a great character, but this might be one of those films where the commentary was prioritized over personality. which hasn't been panning out too well nowadays.
Well, that's because they never released my original cut.
Oh my god, this has a Snyder cut too?
Yes, they added that opening and closing narration.
Is that it? Just the narration?
Maybe. Either way, the film's misunderstood.
Well, is it misunderstood as is or misunderstood because the proper version didn't come out?
I'd like to think both.
It can't be both!
Can't it?
No!
Can't it?
No!
Can't it?
No!
Can't it?
No! Wait, was that not come on camera?
Yeah, you forgot to put us in this one.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
It's cool. We got Christmas episodes coming up.
Okay, cool. Where was I? Oh yeah, duck season!
Rabbit season!
Duck fire! So once again, Baby Doll's dance blows everyone away, and the owner forms big plans for her.
So with or without your blessing, she's gonna be on that stage tomorrow, right?
I'll see what I can do.
Atta girl.
All right.
So, is Baby Doll imagining them talking as well? Is she just in the institution thinking...
And then I'm not seen for 3 minutes or so, meaning nothing's being learned about me, so pretty similar to when I am on screen.
They invite Mayor Penguin Capote to watch her dance while one of the women steals his lighter. This should only take a minute's time, but with horny inception, it's about 9 minutes. And again, it's just fighting and no development. Shark Boy and Lava Girl have more connection to the human psyche. Oh, wait, they're stealing a lighter and this scene has fire in it. Of course, drag in, drag on, these scenes drag on. I can do this bullshit too, Snyder. I'm sorry, was she supposed to be dancing? She just ran around the room saying, "Oh, dragon, pew, pew, pew!" They managed to get the lighter, but the owner puts together they might be up to something as items around the place keep disappearing.
We had a deal. If I say it's over, it's over.
Oh, if only this movie worked that way. They still decide to continue with the plan as they try to get a knife from the cook.
What the hell are you doing?
Well, I'm done interrogating. Allow me not to question the following 10 minutes. Yeah, you heard right. It's another dance fight sequence with nothing being learned for 10 minutes. Is this like the room where the mother and daughter have the same conversation 5 times? Come on, maybe the reason we're supposed to care about anything isn't here. Even the fantasies are all looking the same. If one world was like Game of Thrones, another like Adventure Time, another like Batman, at least there'd be some variety. But nope, it's just random shit that pops out of nowhere. Oh wait, now I get it. She conjured all this up from that bird or this Hallmark angel. Is that a toilet brush? Give me something to go off of, damn it! But here's a twist. You ready for this? I was shocked when it occurred. We're shown something happening in one reality actually taking place in another. One woman sacrifices herself in the fantasy to save another, and that's what happens in the other scenario. Don't you love when an Easter egg in a movie is just coherency?
When you get home, you tell Mom I love her.
Tell Tiny Tim I won't be coming home for Christmas.
Get her up. Get her up, CJ!
The owner finally figures out they've been stealing stuff to plan an escape. Well, what possible evidence do you have against them? Seriously? You never erased that? Did you really need a cheat sheet to remember 4 things? Give this film credit, it does come across like something a person being lobotomized would write. That'll teach you 2 for trying to have more eyeliner than me.
I hope everyone's learned a valuable lesson here.
If you want to be sad when a character dies, give them actual character. Baby Doll stabs the owner and tries to rescue the other surviving woman. There's guards at the gate, so Baby Doll decides to sacrifice herself so the other can escape.
You have to live for all of us now. You're the only one of us that ever had a chance out there.
The way you were a little more pissed off than us, you're clearly ready for the world!
When they come after me, you go, okay? There's gotta be another way.
Well, to quote Kevin Costner from Man of Steel, there's a bajillion other ways, but Snyder wanted to do this.
This was never my story.
Then why'd we watch your Z-grade RPG fanfiction for what felt like an eternity? Speaking of which, how long is this pornographed fight gonna go? 12 minutes? 15 minutes? A half hour? I guess Snyder was looking at his watch too. The lobotomy is completed, and I suppose a big twist is revealed that everything that happened at the brothel happened in the institution. She befriended the inmates, stole stuff, 3 of them were killed, she stabbed Poe, and she sacrificed herself so one could get away. Cool. Still don't know shit about her. This is like retelling The Happening, but all the characters are beans. It's still just as bad, even if you didn't change that one element. Isaac being stabbed caused him to go crazy too, though, and he tries to get revenge on her before it being taken away. The last thing we see is the woman who did escape getting questioned by cops, but the bus driver, who's also the mentor, vouches for her.
I just let her off to use the restroom. She's been a joy the entire journey.
Well, nothing suspicious about that. Let's talk more about how we want to lose our jobs.
Who decides why we live and what we'll die to defend? It's you. You have all the weapons you need. Now fight.
See? It's the ending narration that screws everything up.
Just that, huh?
I'm 20 to 90% sure, yes.
Well, I certainly saw other things I didn't like, but what do you think?
I think you didn't see them.
I was talking to the viewers, you dumbass.
But you were looking at me when you said it!
It is a confusing setup. Am I just missing something that speaks to a certain amount of people? I honestly wouldn't mind other criticisms that other folks have had if it just wasn't so boring. I just want a little character, a little personality from these leads. Instead, I feel like I can't even say I was given ideas, it's more like ideas for ideas that are then replaced with action sequences. A lot of critics say this was a big budget video game, but I don't know, a lot of games I've played have more character, story, and coherency than this. It's kind of like watching Life of Pi, which at one point gives you information that makes you look at the story entirely different. Even without that information, though, it's still an interesting and engaging story. This felt dull with or without the extra information. But clearly there are people that got something inspiring out of it. So what do you think? Is there more to this than I'm giving credit for? Or is this a decent idea trying too hard to be told in a unique way? Let me know in the comments if you think Zack Snyder has done it again, or if Zack Snyder has done it again.
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't win you over, critic, but look at it this way. I'm right.
Doesn't sound very nuanced.
But it does make me sound like I'm right.
You know, if there's people that understand your entertainment, more power to them. I just don't think I'm your crowd, man.
Fair enough. But hey, if you're gonna wrap up this review, can you wrap it up as the Snyder Cut?
Oh, alright. I'm a nostalgia critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
Don't forget to bite that apple!
Oh yes, thanks for the reminder. Ah!
Ain't I a Snyder?
This was never my story.
I like to think that my fetishes aren't that obscure. Who doesn't want to see girls running down the trenches of World War I wreaking havoc?